Hey everybody, Mike from FisherMN here. 800 subscribers, or close to it. That's awesome. I really appreciate you all tuning in to FisherMN. Stay tuned later in the video. I'm going to do a giveaway. We got a cold and rainy kind of day here in Minnesota. Gonna take a little break from fishing to get some videos edited, etc. And I couldn't let any more time go by. This winter, I got together with Paul. Paul was a frequent commenter on my videos, and in fact, we kind of exchanged a few emails, and he makes his own leaders. And I'm pretty picky about the leaders that I use. In fact, last year I did a review on tooth shield tackle leaders, and they were the leaders I was using up until I got kind of hooked in with Paul. Paul's so generous. He's sent me some leaders to use, and we've gotten together fishing a couple of times. It seems like every time we get together, he's got another pile of leaders for me to try. It's really nice because Paul is great about making little modifications, even if I just mention something with the leaders. He and I got to talking, and he's like, let's teach him how to do it. So here we go. Last winter, Paul and I got together, and here is how to make your own leaders.
We're gonna make a single strand titanium leader today, 96 pound. We do need crimp sleeves, we need barrel swivels, and a clip of choice. So you'll need a wire cutter to cut your single strand titanium wire, and you'll also need a sleeve crimper. Step one, cut the wire to the desired length of your leader. I'm gonna make FisherMN his custom size right now. I've talked to Mike, and he likes approximately an 8-inch leader, so no measuring tool here, but you could take a tape measure out and make sure that you get it exact. First thing I need to do is take my crimp sleeve, and I need to slide it on to the wire. And I like to leave my fingers there to stop the sleeves. That goes on first, and then I like to start with the barrel swivel, which is going to be the end of your leader, where you connect your fishing line to the leader. And when I do this, I like to give myself some room to give the bend on the wire to go slide back through the crimp sleeve here. So that's what it looks like right now. I got the end of the wire there with the barrel sleeve, and you can see the wire is doubled up through there. We've talked about this to eliminate that tag end, which can be sharp with this material, but pulling it to flush. As long as your wire diameter and your inside diameter of your crimp sleeve are close to the same dimension, this will hold together when you slide this up to secure it. So I just hold on the wire really tight here, grab a hold of where the wire goes through the tube, and I slide it up. And now at this point, because it's a good fit, it holds together in place. And now I can take my crimp sleeve tool and I can crimp this to secure it. The crimp tool got a seat for the sleeve to sit into. It's gonna, maybe you can see it better this way. It kind of fits that nest there, I would call it. Squeeze it as tight as you can. I put it against my leg, and I like to make sure that it's not going to come apart. On this crimping tool, the sleeve sometimes kind of grabs a hold of here, and you just kind of got to grab on each side, and that'll eventually just pop out of there. This would be the side that connects to your fishing line. Part one, we have the barrel swivel connected to the leader wire and crimped shut. Now we have to put the clip on to be able to secure our lure to the leader. It's the same as this side. The only difference would be that we're putting a clip that you put your lure on instead of the barrel swivel where you tie your line on. Same thing, I pinch the wire with my 2 fingers there. So now we're going to slide our crimp sleeve onto the other end, onto the lure end of our leader. And I like to use my fingertips to stop that there. So now I can grab the snap, and I'm going to slide my snap onto the wire above on the end, fold my wire back over and through the crimp sleeve, just like we did on the other side. You can see the tag end there, so we're going to pull that back to flush is what we choose that we want to do. And then you can even grab it way down here by where you're going to tie your line, hold it there with your fingers, and you can grab your crimp sleeve at this point and slide it to the end. There's a little bit of a loop in the wire there, but now this would be your fishing leader, or is your fishing leader, minus we have to make a crimp on that sleeve to secure it. Nest that sleeve into the tool properly, and we squeeze it as hard as we can, and there we go. Finished product. We got a single strand titanium wire leader rated at 96 plus pounds. Now that we have our finished fishing leader accomplished here, I wanted to let people know through experience that one of the most important aspects to making these is to get a crimp sleeve and know the diameter, the inside diameter of the crimp sleeve, so that it matches up with the outside diameter of the leader wire. For example, you have to double the outside diameter of your leader wire because it's going to run through your crimp sleeve twice. It goes through and then back through so that you can crimp it shut. The outside diameter of your wire is 0.25. You want to make sure that your inside diameter of your crimp sleeve is 0.50 or greater, but as close to the diameter of your single strand titanium wire as possible, so that you have a nice tight fit in there and you've got the ability to slide that sleeve without the wire sneaking its way out or moving on you when you're adjusting.
I will say it's nice to have somebody who has so much experience, and this is going to look a lot easier than it probably is because I've got every component sitting in front of me. So just so you know, we're going to list all the components in the description of this video. So if you want to get an idea of where to start to get these things, it'll be there for you. So I'm going to choose about an 8-inch leader. Paul fishes the river and uses some MEPS, and the MEPS has kind of a longer profile, so I think that's why probably Paul likes a little shorter leader. I am going to go with my usual kind of 8-inch or so leader. I'm using these a lot with chatterbaits, so it's been really nice because they're flexible and they're low profile. Now if you're watching this from the south, you're probably thinking, why would you want to use a leader? It's going to wreck all the action. Well, up north here we have something called a northern pike, and they wreak havoc with our tackles, so it's almost a must, at least I feel like it is, to have a leader on, because you don't want to lose a lure or even lose a big northern. So that's why we're doing this today. I'm pinching it about a couple inches down, Paul.
Yeah.
And that'll help me when I make the loop. One of the important things that Paul mentioned was the diameter, and we're lucky to have his expertise because now we know, get something that's almost the same diameter. When you add up the two outside diameters of the wire, the crimp sleeve should be about double that, if not a little bit more. All right, so then we got our barrel swivel. What pound test would you say these are?
Those are up somewhere between 100 and 120 pound.
100 to 120 pound. You want to get away with the highest pound test and make the leaders as light as possible, if that makes any sense, because you don't want it to affect the action. And definitely I've used these, they don't affect the action. So now I've got my barrel swivel on there. So the next part of the process is getting this folded over. So I'm going to fold it over and put it back through the crimp sleeve.
Back through the crimp sleeve.
I'm going to push it through and see a little bit hanging out the other side just to make sure I got it through there. And I can feel what Paul was talking about as I push this through. It's nice and tight. So there we go. The tag end would be the end kind of sticking out here. And that's something I talked to Paul about. And this is the beautiful thing about making a leader on your own, is that you can make it the way you want it. And what I noticed is sometimes when I'm lazy and I'm grabbing those northerns, the crimp sleeve on the top would slide through my hand and I'd get a little bit of a cut. So that's what we're talking about, making it come all the way. And now we're even with the crimp sleeve. So even this small part, when I push this forward, having a little bit of loop here is going to give it a little bit of freedom on the line. Paul mentioned in his segment where you could actually tie your line to this loop, but I prefer a barrel swivel because then your line's not going to get twisted, because a lot of lures have so much action you don't want your line to get twisted. Yeah. There we go. So we got it lined up with our crimping sleeve, and FisherMN is going to make an attempt to crimp it. So I'm going to squeeze it as hard as I can.
Now you
open it up, and it.
That one actually came right out. Does it?
I was gonna say that might be something that I need to practice, because Paul's got stuck because it was pretty tight. Yeah, and I just kind of got to wiggle it out of there. Yeah, but this looks like it'll do. It's got the crimping on it. We got side number one. This is what's going to attach to your line. And now we're going to go to the leader side. I need another crimping sleeve. And I'm holding it a couple inches below. We're putting this on there. Then my clip. And this has been a big discussion for both of us. What do you put at the end? Because you don't want your clip to fail now that you have this beautiful leader. So I know Paul's tried a bunch of different things. I've even thrown on a couple of different things, and that's the beauty of making your own leader. You can look up what you might like. And it sounds like Paul's got a couple of new clips coming that we're going to try out. I'll be his guinea pig this summer, and we're going to see if they work. But these, in general, these VMC clips have worked pretty well. They're called Touch Lok Snaps, and they're 100-pound. Yeah, they're all rated anywhere from 100 to, I've got 3 different sizes, but up to 140 pounds. Yeah, so there's 2 openings. You got kind of the bigger loop and the smaller loop. I'm putting it on the smaller loop here. All right, so here we go. We're putting this on the end. I'm going to slide it down a little bit so I can get that loop like we did before. That's right, I got the tube pinched about halfway in my fingers. You're going to find that opening to the tube, and like I say, trial and error. I'm sure it took Paul a long time to figure out the exact dimensions, so it's kind of nice coming in on this part of the process, and that's why Paul wanted to make this video, to kind of maybe save you some time if you want to make your own leaders. And there we go. We got the tag end kind of sticking out here. So now I'm going to slide it down so that the crimp tube is even with that tag end hanging out there. And then I'm going to push it forward. Yep. I'm going to push it forward. If you're doing this part and you're finding that things are slipping out, your crimp sleeve might be a little too big. Nice little thing there. Then we're going to take our crimp tool. So I'm going to line it up. It's the first groove here on the crimp tool. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to maybe get a little better grip. Paul said you can push it against your knee. Let's see if I can get it stuck on there like he did. A little better. A little better. Yep. And guess what? This is a leader that's guaranteed to catch a monster fish, right? Depends on the lure on the end. He's shaking his head yes, so I'll give you his home address. If you make a leader and it doesn't catch a monster fish. No, I'm just kidding. Paul, that's awesome. What a great process. Like I said, everything is going to be linked in the description of this video as far as the components that Paul uses. But I tell you, these leaders are rock solid. I used them most of this summer. I just love them because they're a lot more low profile than most leaders you're going to find. So if you're looking for that, definitely give it a try. Not the most expensive proposition in the world either, especially once you have all the equipment. Thanks so much, Paul, for the leader tutorial. Yeah. If you are interested in making your own leaders, that's great. If you are interested in buying some of Paul's leaders, I can help channel you in the right direction there. So email me at fishermntv@gmail.com. Before we get to the giveaway, I just want to say thank you so much. 800 subscribers, what a great milestone. Let's keep charging up to that 1,000. I'm going to bring you as much fishing as I can this summer. I'm going to give you some ideas on the way, and I so appreciate every comment that you make and all the interactions that we can have. This video is a great example. Paul isn't somebody I knew except through YouTube, so just a great way to get people together who love fishing. All right, on to the giveaway. We're going to make this contest easy. First, be subscribed to FisherMN. Second, make a comment on this video before May 31st. And then third, watch my June 1st video, and we're going to have 3 winners that are going to get an assortment of leaders. The prize, if your comment is selected, will be 4 leaders. You're going to get 2 fluorocarbon leaders and 2 titanium leaders. You may get Paul's, you may get mine, but just know Paul supervised the whole thing, so they're all pretty good leaders. During my June 1st video, I'm going to show how the winners were randomly selected. I'm going to make a post in the comments section for all the winners and how they can get a hold of me to get their prize. I appreciate you checking out this video. Hope to see lots of comments. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you learned a little something new. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.